Recently on the Young Turks, we told you about lobbying for the drone companies. Now we have a lot more information about it, and I wanted to share all of it with you because it's a perfect example of how our system gets bought and the trouble ahead for us. First of all, we told you that Alex Bronstein-Moffly, who's an analyst at First Street Research, had said about the lobbying for drones in America. This is one of the few areas where the government is still spending money and investing. And he also explained that they have the, literally, quote, this is the trifecta of lobbying. He's referring to them pushing on legislation, regulations, and appropriations. So they're hidden, the lobbyists are hidden DC in every way imaginable. Now, one of the reasons it's an expanding field is because we're doing drone strikes throughout the world, Yemen, Pakistan, et cetera. But where they think there's a real growth opportunity is here in the United States of America. And so they talk about that. And they have decided to invest heavily here. For example, drone manufacturers donated $2.3 million to nearly 60 members of the bipartisan House Unmanned System Caucus. I love that. There's now a caucus for drones. Our politicians are so sold out. They're like, what do you need us to form a caucus for? Any company, any industry, drones? Yeah, I'm part of the drone caucus. Why the hell would you be part of the drone caucus? You're going to vote for drones? Okay, I get it. But you're going to start a whole caucus? It's because they're paying you, Lebowski. That's your for sale sign. You put it up and you go, okay, here are the guys who are taking bribes from drone companies. So they get $2.3 million in bribes. 77% of that goes to, of course, the Republican Party, which has put up a giant for sale sign saying, please, us, don't give it to Democrats. We'll sell out much better. Speaking of those Republicans, let me give you some of the top recipients here. Buck McKeon is getting the most amount of money. He's getting $176,500. And then number 2 is Representative Mo Brooks. He's getting $112,000. Now, why is that? Watch that graphic there. It says caucus co-chair of the drone caucus, which is hilarious. But most importantly, he heads the House Armed Services Committee. Now, that's going to make the decision on drones. So the chairman of that committee is the guy you got to buy. The second most important committee is the one Mo Brooks runs. That's the House Science, Space, and Technology Subcommittee. He's the chairman of that. You got to buy those 2 committees. You buy the 2 chairmen, and you're good to go. This is how American politics works. So the drones are coming. They're coming. Now, they say, oh, no, we need them for domestic reasons. We'd like to check the weather. Okay, and sure, they will in the beginning, and they'll use drones for some weather checking, et cetera. And then they say, oh, maybe we shoot some movies with drones. And the movie companies go, yeah. And then every police department in the country is going to buy drones. They're already saying it. They're saying, you know what? It turns out drones are actually cheaper than helicopters, and you don't have to pay the helicopters, and you can spy in on everyone. Did I say that out loud? Yeah, you did. Okay, we know you're going to use it for spying. Of course they are. This is Big Brother on steroids. But it doesn't matter. They already bought the politicians. And my favorite example, and the one where you can really see how much lobbying is worth, they gave David Dreyer, of course, another Republican, this time from California, $23,000 in campaign contributions. Now, what did that get them back? David Dreyer put in a $1 million earmark for the company to develop a small but lethal handheld drone. That was for AeroVironment, which is one of the drone companies. How do you like that, Mapples? $23,000 gets you $1 million back. In fact, if you're not buying American politicians and you're a businessman, you're crazy. Okay, it's the best investment in the country. I hate this system. Everybody who cares about democracy should hate this system. Republican, Democrat, conservative, or liberal. But, within this system, if you're not doing crony capitalism, well, your competitor is going to, and he's going to crush you. He's going to legislate you out of business. That's what they're doing. It's sick. All right, now, that same company, AeroVironment, well, how much has it spent on lobbyists? $2.6 million overall. How much has it returned them in federal contracts? $100 million. Again, who in their right mind wouldn't spend $2.6 million if they thought they were going to get $100 million back? You're crazy if you don't buy the politicians. It makes sense for a company like that to go to the drone caucus and say, here, every one of you son of bitches line up. Here's your money, here's your money, here's your money, here's your money. Oh, I'm sorry, campaign contributions. And by the way, don't worry, if any of you ever lose, I'll immediately hire you at a really good rate, which is exactly a second trick that they do, because they're going to get $100 million out of it. This is grotesque. Now, one of my favorite things, again, Bronstein-Moffly here, he says, there's so much potential both internationally and domestically. It's one of the areas it makes sense to be lobbying on and be heavily involved in. I bet it does. But my ultimate quote, it comes from industry group AUVSI. Who are they? They're the Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International. So they represent all the drone companies put together. And they said, hey, you know, we wrote this piece of legislation, we handed it to the politicians, and then here comes the quote. Our suggestions were often taken word for word. In other words, you would be amazed at how easy it is to buy these politicians. You give them 23,000 here, 23,000 there. They don't even bother to check the bill. They go, oh, okay, thank you, great. Mission accomplished. They hand it in, they stamp it, and you got drones galore, not only across the world, but now coming to America. And in fact, the governor of Virginia, Bob McDonnell, said, hey, they've done such wonders in the battlefield, he can't wait for them in Virginia. You know what they do in the battlefield? They kill people. So great, we have that to look forward to in Virginia. He says, oh, they're safe in the battlefield. Well, they're not safe for the guys that you're dropping the bombs on. Now here, I don't think they're going to drop bombs in Virginia. I hope to God that they don't. But are they going to be able to spy in on everybody now? Abso-frickin-lutely. And if you think they're not going to do it, you're living on a different planet. They already think that they have the authority to do it, and it's a near guarantee that they will. So look up. Very soon, you'll definitely see drones above. Drones, they're not just for Yemen anymore.